Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements, proven by time, engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Well, good Thursday, everybody. Taylor Plott here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check on your forecast. Our story over the next couple of days will be not only the very cold temperatures moving on in, but yes, there's a chance for some flurries and snow showers that could lead to a little bit of some light accumulation. Have the latest information on that coming up here very shortly. The good news is we will see a warm-up coming up early to the middle part of next week, so that should finally get things melting pretty good across our area, especially the areas that have still a decent amount of ice on the ground. Let's get right to your forecast. First off, live look from the Arctic Air Skycam Network. Lawrenceburg, Florence, Huntsville, and Savannah checking in. Savannah, you can still see a lot of ice, sleet, freezing rain, that snow that happened. Obviously, you see cars going over the bridge there in Savannah. That's Highway 64. TDOT has continued to do treatment on the roads, and that will probably continue over the next handful of days, especially for the areas that still have a decent amount of ice coverage on it. But like I said, once we really get into the middle of next week, temperatures will be a lot warmer. We should see a bit more of that melting going on. So here's a look at your Arctic Air Skycam Network as we hit midday here on your Thursday, and we are seeing some clouds beginning to move in ahead of our next system. Right now on our Viper radar network, brought to you by Fuller Services, we're nice and clean with a clean sweep across the area on the radar. Temperatures generally in the upper 30s for the most part. Homewald 33, Columbia 32. This is where you're still seeing a decent amount of that ice around that kind of creates its own little natural environment, if you will. So that's where you end up getting our colder temperatures. Elsewhere where the ice has been non-existent or has been limited or beginning to become limited, I should say, temperatures are generally in the 30s and the 40s right now. That will continue to be the case going into the afternoon hours. High pressure will be continuing to move off to our east. Cloud cover continue to move overhead, but we should see a bit more of that sunshine as we head into the afternoon hours. Partly cloudy skies are expected with temperatures getting up into the lower and middle 40s for most areas today. Here are your forecast highs. 43 in Hazel Green and Meridianville, 41 in Athens, 43 in the Shoals, 40 in Mount Pleasant, 39 in Columbia, and 41 degrees here in Lawrenceburg. Going into your evening tonight, clouds continue to move in. That should keep our temperatures from getting too cold tonight. Still getting below freezing though, but we're not seeing our teens overnight tonight most likely. Low to mid 20s can be expected for your forecast lows overnight tonight. 25 in Athens, 24 in Ardmore, 21 in Mount Pleasant, and 22 here in Lawrenceburg. Going into tomorrow, our warming trend comes to an absolute halt as our temperatures will be dropping down into the 30s once again for your highs. A lot of this will probably end up being right around midday time frame-ish for your Friday. Once we get into the afternoon and evening hours, we should start to see a bit more of that push of the Arctic air mass moving on in. And yes, that could bring some snow chances across our area. Temperatures over the next 7 days, our big focus is the very cold temperatures coming in. Going into your Saturday morning, wind chill values below zero for most places. And then once we get into your Sunday, still below freezing, temperatures in the upper 20s and lower 30s. And then finally, we start to see that warming trend going into the middle of next week. All right, let's talk about our chances for some of those snowflakes to come across our area. Let's talk about with the Futurecast, a bit of those clouds continuing today. But like I said, sun will start to peek on out as we head into the afternoon hours. Evenings nice and dry. Starting off your Friday morning, maybe a few snow flurries, maybe a bit of some rain shower activity. I think the better shot at seeing some of that liquid rain will probably be around midday as our system starts to get its act together and then starts to pull away. So there could be where we see our temperatures well above freezing, a little bit of some light rain, and then maybe some snow involved in the colder areas. The better chance at some snow will be coming in during the late evening hours and into the early overnight hours going into your Saturday. Still maybe a flake or two here for your Friday afternoon. That's not going to be a huge issue. This is where we are starting to see some interesting trends in the model guidance. Even the European model is starting to kind of hint at this, to where once we get into the late evening, overnight hours, Friday going into Saturday, there could be a batch of some better snow moving on in. This would be more snow shower activity as opposed to snow flurries. Temperatures are going to be quite cold. As you see here, teens and 20s. The ground's already going to be cold, especially the areas that still see some of that ice. And this will accumulate pretty well, I think, especially with the high snow ratios, meaning if you get a ratio of 20-1, for every 1 inch of liquid, you get 20 inches of snow. We're not saying 1 inch of liquid, but if you get just like a hundredth or a tenth, couple of tenths of an inch of liquid that actually falls from the sky in the form of snow, this could end up translating into a half an inch, maybe even upwards of an inch in some places, just depending on how heavy it actually falls. And even though this would be light, it would accumulate on the roadways, and there could be some slick spots to deal with. That's something we'll have to keep an eye on. We've seen systems like this before move on through, kind of sneak up on us, and you get a little bit of light snow to happen, and then all of a sudden you're looking at problems on the roadways. And I don't want to say that we're dealing with major problems with this, but I think this is something that we'll just need to really keep a close eye on, and just keep a close eye on the model trends, because if we do end up getting a half an inch, maybe an inch of snow with this, even though that's not a whole lot, it could be enough that we end up getting problems on the roadways. So we'll just be cautious and take it one step at a time and see how things transpire going into Friday. So this is just one of those things where we just kind of need to be kept on our toes a little bit, just in case things do end up trending in a direction we don't want it to trend to. So going into your Saturday morning, a bit of some cloud cover continuing, maybe some flurry activity as well. Better shot at seeing some of those flurries, maybe some snow bands setting up going into your Saturday evening. That could also give you a quick dusting, maybe just a tad bit more. And again, it could lead to maybe some slick spots on the roadways. I don't think this is going to be area wide. I think we're just dealing with a few of those bands that could be moving on through for your Saturday. And that continues into your Saturday evening. And then overnight, going into your Sunday morning, temperatures crash down, I think, into the single digits as opposed to teens. We're cold on Sunday, and then once we get into your Monday, we'll start to see those temperatures rebound back above freezing. There could be a few snow flurries on Monday. I'm not really overly concerned about the snow flurries on this. I think we're just dealing with flurries, not much, if any, impact with temperatures above freezing. And then we finally get into the 40s going into your Tuesday and Wednesday. So I think we'll end up getting a lot more melting of the ice that is left over across parts of the area going into the middle part of next week. And yes, finally, we get to see a chance of showers that is in the liquid form for your Wednesday. So again, we'll keep close tabs on Friday and Saturday and looking at the latest model trends. And again, even though there could just be a light accumulation potential, and again, that's only like maybe a dusting, half an inch, maybe an inch of snow in some spots, that would be enough that there would be some slick spots on the roadways. So just keep that in mind as we go into your Friday and Saturday. Right now, it looks like most of this probably happens during the overnight period. So if it does, that would mean that not a lot of people's on the road at that point. But again, it's something we'll keep a close eye on, so just keep checking back for the latest information on that. Again, the main story, I think, with this right now is still the very cold temperatures moving in Friday night into Saturday with single-digit lows and wind chills below zero. But like I said, we'll keep a close eye on those flurries and snow showers and make adjustments to the forecast as we need to over the next day or two. That's your latest forecast here from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fred Gossage will be in at 5 p.m. and he'll have another check on your forecast. Until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday afternoon.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.